Welcome to an ACC commentary. I am the Lexus, and the green and white car is Exact Max, the Green Army F2 champion and current retro racing BMW driver. He's in a McLaren, I'm in a Lexus, and we're here at Monza for an ACC lobby. What will happen in the next 10 minutes? Let's see. Getting ready for the green. And they're away. As Joe gets a good start, Max gets an even better one. Joe getting boxed in by the Ferrari and the BMW. He might be able to escape it though, he is. There's 3 wide. As they head down to turn 1, Joe ahead of Max. As they head into turn 1, Max has hit the back of a BMW, he's hit the back of a load of cars, and loads of cars fly, they all look like birds. Oh my, wow, that was chaos. That was a horrible commentary. Here we go, right. Here we go then, green, green, green. So, Joe in the Lexus, Max in the green and white BMW. As Joe getting boxed in by the BMW and the Ferrari, that didn't work. The Mustang trying to go on the outside hits the grass, losing the car there. They head into turn 1. The Nissan hitting into the Lamborghini. Joe gets hit by Max, and Joe nearly flies. The Ferrari does fly. There's a lot of flying cars as Joe spins on the infield. There's a spinning Nissan. There's a car off at the top. There's a purple BMW. Joe nearly into the path. He's into the path of a McLaren. He nearly hit the Mercedes. And he nearly hits the black McLaren as well. There's a white McLaren going by. There's a Ferrari and Nissan both off in the grass. Joe's back onto the track after a long period of being off. But now, Joe going around the outside of a Nissan and a BMW, and the Nissan cuts him wide. As Joe now skipping back onto the track. And there's contact between the McLaren and the BMW. There's a Nissan now spinning as well. But heading into the chicane, Joe braking. Is he going for a move? He is. There's near the contact between him and the BMW. But the blue wheels on the Lexus having to contend with the purple highlights on the BMW. But the 31 car already having its work cut out for him. There's a white McLaren ahead. That isn't Max. But Max currently up in front. He has a drive-through penalty to serve after, for what I believe is that chaos that he caused at turn 1, where he missed his breaker point and hit that BMW that's going out of picture now, the blue, red and white one, and then he ended up hitting into Joe, sending him sideways and into the Ferrari. Joe flew there as this car's off again, and there's a huge jump. The Ferrari gets hit by the BMW. That's a very vicious impact to absorb for the pair of them. And as Joe goes under the camera, you can see them all flying into Parabolica now. Around the outside of the Mustang, Joe leaving space, leaving too much space. The 71 and the 31 battling. The Mustang versus the Lexus. Lexus, after their pole position in the 8 Hours of Bahrain in the World Endurance Championship, are now here in ACC in this quick join open lobby, trying to catch up to the Mustang. Who will come out in front? Joe looking for the inside. The Aston braking just. Joe is able to get the move done. He takes a lot of curb though, and he's now off wide. And now the Mustang goes for a move, but he hits the BMW, who spins. So drama. The Mustang looked like he was going to get Joe. Joe given a bit of luck there by a fellow BMW. So the Lexus trying to fend off the American brand behind it. So the Japanese brand versus the American brand. There's a German brand not far behind that. Then there's an Italian brand a little bit behind that as well. Down the inside for the Italian Ferrari. I think he might make the move on the Mercedes. We can't really tell at the moment because the camera angle isn't showing us. And so we see again, no, yeah, the Ferrari did make the move on the Mercedes at the top of the picture. The Ford trying to make a move, not making it stick. And as they head into Lesmo 2, and they now head down into the Ascari chicane. It's Joe leading the Mustang. Then comes in front of them is the Lamborghini. There's a McLaren making a move on the Ferrari behind, and the Ferrari able to fend off the black night vision McLaren. But Joe heading out of the Ascari chicane, the Mustang going wide on the gravel. And as you can see, they all fly underneath us. The Lambo, the Lexus, the Mustang, the Ferrari and the McLaren all going out of picture. Then into Parabolica, the Ferrari goes for the move down the inside, making it stick. As meanwhile, Joe trying to catch up to Lamborghini. They're 3 wide behind. I'm not able to get back to them. As there's a car round, not too sure who it was though. Heading down the Lexus on full pelt, trying to get past the Lamborghini and so on. The Lamborghini does have a drive-through to serve as well, for Joe to think about as well. Joe to the inside, making a move. He goes deep, and the Lambo gets him back. Joe now trying to use the slipstream to maybe make a move into the second chicane. And let's see, but Joe's also now playing the Hunter and the Hunted at the moment, same as Moldy did in STB in Australia. It's the Lambo dipping under the ground there for a quick second. The Ferrari going for a move, thinking better of it last second. Joe in the 31 keeps in front of the Ferrari. The Ferrari that's branded in a similar fashion to Jim Clark's Lotus from 1961 in F1. But now to the inside for the Ferrari. Is he going to make a move in the second Lesmo? No, Joe doesn't have any of it, but he drifts through the second Lesmo, turn 7. And now they're going to go side by side into the Ascari chicane. And the car that Alberto Ascari drove the brand of is now going around the outside of the Lexus here into the chicane that bears the Ascari name. The Ferrari gets ahead of the 31 Lexus. So that's number 26 getting ahead of 31. Now the Lambo is going to be in trouble. So as they fly down into the Parabolica, the Lambo is under attack from the Ferrari as well. The Ferrari, and there's a car off. I think that's probably one of the Mustangs heading into the gravel as the Lamborghini nearly hits the Ferrari and goes wide. Joe goes wide as well, losing the back end. The Lamborghini in the gravel. Absolute drama for him. As now the Mustang gets ahead of the Lamborghini as well. The Lambo still doesn't serve its drive-through. But as they head down into turn 1 again, Joe trying to keep out of the Mustang. He's got the Ferrari ahead of him pulling away. And as they, there's a Porsche coming back onto the track. Joe goes deep and nearly hits into the Porsche. So Joe comes back onto the track, lets the Porsche through, and there's a Ferrari going very quick on the exit of turn 1. I'm saying that sarcastically. As they head through, Joe in the 31, heading up into the second chicane. He's now chasing the Porsche, who looks like he had an off at the first chicane, the first corner, into turn 4. I forgot the names for the chicanes, but I know the name of the next corner coming up, which is the Lesmo. This is a Mercedes going into the gravel after the second chicane there, so that's not the best. They head through the Porsche and the Lexus, both trying to catch up to each other. The Porsche goes wide into the dusty stuff, and that makes the Lexus's job a lot easier to get the move done. So the Lexus ahead of the Porsche. The Porsche is now getting overtaken by the American Mustang, with the Japanese Lexus pulling away on the exit of Ascari. And he's now on the gravel out of Ascari. So he now comes back onto the track and hurls toward Parabolica with all the horsepower you could ask from that Lexus. But the 31 flat out now round Parabolica. He's going to go over the line as he goes over the little white line there. We head onto the first corner yet again. I'm not too sure if this is the last lap or not, but I think if it's not the last lap, we'll get there soon. So we head through turn 1 and 2. He's absolutely nailed turn 1 and 2. There's a Ford going off. The Mustang, as you can see, just entered picture on the bottom right. The Mustang's gone off at turn 1 and 2, and he is struggling. So, yeah, drama for the Mustang heading into the second chicane though. Joe heading through. Meanwhile, quick update on Exact Max. He's been in the pits for most of the race, serving penalty after penalty after penalty, as we head through into the second Lesmo then, with the 31 Lexus bouncing over that curb. The Mercedes behind, the Iron Lynx looking Mercedes, trying to catch up to the Lexus. I'm not too sure what team this is meant to be representing. So we head through with the 31 heading through Ascari, trying to use all the track he can, using a bit too much track, has to be said, and hurling towards the Parabolica. He's got that Mercedes to think about heading into the last corner of the race. But the Lexus coming out of the final corner, he's got a bit wide there. He's over the sausage curb that sent Alex Peroni into a catch fence way back when, but over the line. I think that is the Lexus taking the crown of 4th place here at Monza. Or is it? I think that's a bit early, isn't it? Oh well, we'll just end it there, because I want to get to the next race. So, next race. Keep an eye on this one because it's funny. V8 Vantage. I should have made these highlights, shouldn't I? Oh well. Here we go, right. Do you know what I'll do this race from the helicopter point of view, because it's nice. Here we go then. So from the helicopter, that blue Aston Martin with the heart shape on it is myself, starting in P19, the Heart of Racing number 28 car of Joseph Singh. In the 28 car, we'll be ready to go green. We're away. Max starting in P1, Joe starting back here in P19. We head into turn 1. There's the McLaren, there's a slow Porsche heading towards turn 1. They head into turn 1, there's contact with the Lexus and the Ferrari, and the McLaren goes in the air, and there's carnage. Absolute, well, what? I expected nothing less out of turn 1 at Monza. As this car's going over the chicane, Joe now trying to catch up to the McLaren and the Ferrari, who both skipped that chicane. Joe making contact with one of the Ferraris, or one of the McLarens. Now it's the Ferrari's turn, who gives him a lot of space. Joe on the grass, heading into the second chicane. There's Max in the other Aston Martin. You can see him in a blue number 26 Aston Martin. Coming out of the chicane, there's a McLaren just behind him, now to the inside of him at Lesmo 1. And Max still ahead of the McLaren. Joe now trying to get ahead of the McLaren. Is he going to make the move? Sick, there's a spinning Nissan, and he assassinates the McLaren, who then in turn assassinates the Ferrari. That is a shame, as now to the outside goes Exact Max in front. He's going to overtake that blue, that yellow and black Bumblebee resembling McLaren, they all go under the banking. Now Joe looking for a move, now the McLaren looking for a move. He's not going to make it stick. Max goes wide, he goes even wider, he's losing the car, and he hits into the McLaren, and that will create an open door, similar to Moses in the sea for Joseph Singh, to go through on Exact Max Clark and the Bumblebee McLaren. As we see the blue Aston Martin. What a hectic first lap that was for the Aston. I'm going to do this in parts instead. Right, here we go. Here's the Aston Martin. He's trying to catch up to the SMP Ferrari in front of him. So it's the Heart of Racing versus SMP here in this ACC quick join lobby. But he's carted to the inside. Verstappen being very hard on the brakes, but Joe getting ahead of the Ferrari. And as they now head out that first chicane, Max and the McLaren making contact behind there. And now the Ferrari looks like he's going to go around the outside of Curva Grande on the Heart of Racing Aston Martin. So it's M Verstappen versus J Singh, and it looks like it will be Singh who will come out in front unless the Ferrari is brave on the brakes, which he is not. So they head through the second chicane. Joe's ahead, and look at Max there. He's still trying to defend from the McLaren. So drama here for the Mercedes. He spins out into the gravel. What a knobhead. So here's Joseph saying the number 28 Heart of Racing Aston Martin. He's being caught up here by the black and white Ferrari, I believe that is. Or is that McLaren? I think it's McLaren. They're heading down the straight. Joe on Parabolica. Over the curb. And they make contact and the Ferrari goes off. That was very tricky contact there. We'll see that again and see who was at fault. We'll playback speed at half. Here we go. Right. Let's see who was at fault. So Joe was on the curb. The McLaren was going to the inside. Joe coming off the white line. The Ferrari though doesn't make any attempt to not make any contact. So I think they're both as responsible as each other. Joe could have given more space to the Ferrari. The Ferrari could have given more space to Joe. Contact like that does just happen in racing sometimes. Alright, that was it. That's it. Thank you very much, and goodbye.